1977 Corvette, and today what we're doing is we're reducing those underhood temperatures and we're wrapping the headers. For some, they may be greatly opposed to this idea, and that is because there is some corrosion that may come if you have uncoated headers. Okay, with today's technology, steel is a lot better than it used to be, the steel that headers are made of, and as well as even the welds. So even uncoated headers tend to stay in decent condition when wrapped than they did a long time ago. But that being said, what I have is Summit Racing mid-length headers. They are ceramic coated from Summit Racing, but not all ceramic coating is the same. It has to be ceramic coated inside and out. I don't know, because I forgot to check when they were brand new, if this was ceramic coated on the inside. However, the temperature of these headers did get around 600 degrees, which is not very good. So what can we do? Well, today we're gonna use the DEI Design Engineering. And we're gonna use their black pulverized volcanic rock wrap, which is, this style of wrap is their best. Does not technically require the high temp coating, but what we're using the high temp coating for today is to coat the ceramic part first before we begin the wrapping. And what that does is it allows some better gripping of the somewhat slick material as you're wrapping it. And that's straight from DEI as a recommendation. Other things you can use this for is after you do wrap it, because the material does not absorb this as well as their fiberglass. Their fiberglass is a lower tier, but you would have to use up to 3 coats heat cycled. Okay, so each coat has to be heat cycled, which is somewhat of a pain. You cannot do this in your personal oven at home. There will be smoke. All right, so instead what I am doing is I'm using it for their tertiary method, and I am helping to aid in the grip of the wrap around it as I wrap these. So all you do, of course, is just coat the ceramic. And these are not expensive headers from Summit. So, you know, for those getting upset right now that I'm spraying ceramic coated headers, you need not worry. You need a set of, and then you need the DEI roll. This is a 50-foot roll in measuring tape to measure how much to dispense, steel zip ties for securing it, and masking tape to control the frayed ends. Notice how DEI sends it folded over. This is what we're going to do with the beginning and the end as we wrap the primaries. Okay, the primaries is what we consider each individual tube. The collector is what we're going to consider this area. So what we're going to do after we pre-measure the amount each primary needs, because you don't want to send this whole roll through. That'll take forever, and also you'll fray the whole roll and it'll be ruined. If you have too much overlap, you will create undue stress from heat on these pipes because it's retaining too much heat. Where that's really going to make a difference is right here around the welds. But if you have really cheap headers, the steel used could buckle, swell, or warp if you have too much overlap. So from their YouTube channel, a 1/4 inch is the recommendation. So that's what we're going to attempt to achieve. We're going to start as low as we can go on each primary, and we're going to wrap those. At the end, if we can only get to here, that's where we stop with the collector wrap, the wrap that's going to go around the entire base here. Alright, so let's begin. Naturally, pain in the butt was the fraying. Even with the tape, the fraying was insane on the ends, so I had to trim off a lot. The calculator by DEI works great. There was significant overlap at points, more than a 1/4 inch, that I couldn't get around, and that was like at the collector, that's 2 inch. So about an inch of overlap due to just the sliding around the weld area. That area is going to experience a lot more heat, unfortunately, but the primaries, at some points I required 2 stainless steel zip ties. Afterwards I coated again with the high temp silicone coating, and there will be a little smoke as this stuff cures, so this will be outside the garage, but it's not the prettiest job in the world, but it's going to do the job, and it'll go well with the orange engine. Alright guys, so there it is. Those wrapped headers are now mounted. We didn't cover the process of removing the headers because that is a different style of video, but for those who are curious what they look like, there you have the passenger side. This one was more difficult. You have the AC bracket, which is why. You have the driver's side. So these were previously ceramic coated by Summit Racing to cover that again. I will tell you right away, the radiant heat is extremely noticeable. Just cycling after the first start, it smokes extremely bad to burn off all that residual oils and coatings that you applied during the process. That will subside after about 5 to 10 minutes of idling. And then do not forget that if you wish, you can heat cycle the high temp coating. Typically the titanium wrap takes 3 coats of 400 degrees heat cycled 3 times is what the manufacturer recommends. But I am not opting for that. I'm just going to roll with it and enjoy the low temps in the engine bay for now. And it's not necessary, I should say. Sorry, it's not necessary with the titanium. It's just something they say if you want it to be more resistant to road grime. I'm not really too concerned about that here in Jacksonville, Florida. But huge temperature difference. I look forward to giving updates later on from highway temperatures, and I'll pass those up. Thank you for watching.